The perfect portion, right?
Yes, of course.
Dude, you know, I love Korean barbecue. Like, I love it.
Right. Oh,
And-
dude, it's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, every time I go with, like, a really empty stomach. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
eat anything. I prepare myself. And then as soon as I'm done eating, I'm like, dude, I'm done. I don't want to see that for, like, 2 months, 3 months.
What? Why?
Because I had way too much.
Just became a gluttony. That's why. That's but yeah, that's what's happening.
Right? It happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, yeah. When we go to eat Korean barbecue, I'm super excited, bro. You don't understand the excitement.
No, me too. I see it as like an event.
But then at the end, I'm just like, oh no, why?
Yeah, I'm like,
Why did this happen?
why did I do that?
But you know what? That what you said, perfect portion, ties to pretty much everything in our modern time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so of course, what made you come up with this this title? That's a good one.
Well, number one, because I had an interesting dream and I shared it with you, and the way you described it back to me, I was like,
That's
that
true.
is
Yeah.
perfect. But also because we do live in this world where we're full of gluttony, not just in food, but in material things.
Oh my God,
Everything, you know. And this dream that I had, I'm gonna explain it vaguely. I prayed about something like, you know, at night,
Right.
and then I fell asleep. Hours go by, and I wake up in the morning to pray, and then I go back to sleep because, you know, I wasn't gonna go to work or anything.
Of course.
So, and then I had a dream where I was behind someone at a Chipotle line, which is
Right.
funny, Chipotle, you know,
Yeah.
because we were just talking about Chipotle.
That's
So,
true.
so at a Chipotle line, right? And the guy that was about to attend me switches with a girl,
Right.
and the girl is, you know, going to serve me, attend me, and she grabs a bowl, and I'm like, all right, can I have brown rice? She pours a portion of it, and I'm like, all right. I mean, I wish she put a little more, not gonna lie. And then afterwards, I'm like, put chicken. Bro, I kid you not. She put chicken inside the bowl, and I'm like, can you put like a little more? Because it was like barely.
Yeah.
It wasn't that much.
Right.
And at the end, she put just a little bit more, and then I was like, actually, give me a double scoop. Give me a second scoop. And she smiles, and she's like, okay, boom.
Yeah.
Now, and then I woke up, and then I remember meeting up. You know, I met up with you, and I told you the dream, and you were like, seems like God knows the perfect portion for your life. The perfect portion.
Yeah.
That what she was giving you was probably the perfect portion for you. But God is a good God. He gives things to you, like when you ask, because it has happened to me.
Right.
But at the end, that double portion of meat that I asked, I would have to pay for it at the end.
Yeah, you'll pay the price.
You pay the price. So the way you described it, I was like, yo, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So much sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was like, okay, I get the dream now. So God knows in his heart, God knows the perfect portion to give you in your life.
Right.
Now, if you ask for more, there's a good chance God will consider it and give you way more. But at the end, you're going to have to pay the price
For it, yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
And the perfect example, this is one of my favorite stories in the Old Testament, one of them.
Right.
Hezekiah,
Yeah,
bro.
you always bring him up. No, but he played the role for a lot of examples and a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
Like so many things happened to him all at once.
Yeah. A lot of things happened to him. But the ending is what really got to me.
What was the ending?
So, you know, the prophet Isaiah, right?
Right.
He goes to him and he's like, oh, prepare your things because you're about to die. You know, prepare your household, everything, you know, because you're going to die. And Hezekiah is like, you know, he rolls over to his bed all upset. And he's like, God, have I not been so faithful to you and done all these amazing things? God, can please spare my life. Like, can you like give me more years of life?
Right.
And then God tells Isaiah, he's like, go back and tell him that he's going to have 15 more years of life.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Or something like that. Yeah, he said,
yeah.
you know, he's gonna recover him, make him better. So the perfect portion right there was that that God was gonna take away his life because, you know, that was the perfect amount of years he lived. He did great. He did a lot of good things for Israel.
Right.
He was a good king.
Right.
You know, in the eyes of God, he was a good king. But it seems like he wanted more. So God was like, okay, I'll give you more. I consider your prayer. I'll give you more.
Yeah.
But just at the end, right? You know, he becomes a little prideful.
Yeah.
He starts showing the riches to other nations.
Right.
And then at the end, you know, I think Isaiah was like, oh, you know, the people of Israel are going to end up suffering because now all the other nations know that you have all these riches. They're going to come and steal it. And Zechariah's like, I'll be dead by then. But
Yeah.
you see, there was consequences.
But I'll be at peace, he said.
Yeah,
I'm at peace right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Foolish,
yeah, because he was thinking about himself and
selfish,
absolutely. And guess what? The people of Israel ended up paying the price.
Yeah, you know what? Like when you told me the dream, quite honestly, when you said it to me, I was like, I wonder what this means. And while you were saying it to me, I simultaneously was like, God, please reveal something to him. Use me. I don't know, because he's definitely telling me because he knows it seems like it's important. Because he obviously prayed and you literally responded so quickly. So, you know, like, help me be a good service. You know, no disservice here. So, as you're telling me, I believe you told it once quickly and then second time in detail. That's by the second time I knew what it meant, because as I was telling you, as I was elaborately explaining to you what it meant, I was learning simultaneously at the same time.
Oh, no way.
I was like, what? So when you said she was giving you the portion, the proper portion.
Yeah.
Right? That's given.
Absolutely.
When you go in and get the bowl. But you wanted more. And even if you did say it jokingly within the dream, you were meaning it, like, come on, put some more.
Yeah.
In the end, you will pay for the price for it because it is more.
Absolutely.
And from what I learned there, because what's underlining is like this wife that you might want, and whoever is listening, or vice versa, the sister in Christ looking for a husband, whichever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why I learned was because, I mean, me too. Of course, one day I want to get married, find the one who I would like to build.
Yeah.
The problem we get caught with is, we tend to look for when we're looking around or searching, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
looking around with like a radar.
Yeah.
We're looking for a little bit more of a portion than what God is required, like what He has as requirement of the portion to give us. And so He's showing you, He gave you an answer to your prayer, but also to show me and whoever there was listening, right? Because my cousin was there too. And so I learned that while I was saying that to you, when you find that person, you might want to ask more.
It's true.
But God is giving you the right amount of portion. And that portion, right? I'll give you an example. Elijah asked Elisha, what do you want? Elisha said, I want a double portion of your spirit. For such a hard thing you have asked, Elijah said to Elisha. But if you see me be taken by God and you don't close your eyes, then you shall receive that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that double portion he received when Elijah is taken and he receives his garment, he hits the waters and nothing happens.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is this not the garment the God of Elijah? He starts, and he hits it the second time and boom, the river splits open.
That's right. Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so with that double portion that he was receiving, much more was it required from him, responsibility.
Yeah, I see.
Right. So what if, because you are given more than what you're asking for, and you do not appropriately with accountability and responsibility, that is the consequence.
Yeah.
So that's why I was learning that, like, oh wow, like instantaneously.
Amazing. Yeah.
And so I then learned, like, when vice versa, a woman asks for a husband or a husband asks for a wife, he presents that person.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that portion?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That will satisfy you because he is the one giving it to you. Right?
Yeah.
It's not a portion that's too little that you are left desiring, but it's not a portion too much that you are now committing, I guess you could say, like for using the word gluttony.
Yeah.
You're now idolizing that too much now.
Yeah.
And you're forgetting about God.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was like, I was like astonished because I learned something and how I should pray for my significant other, my future one.
Yeah.
Whoever that might be.
Yeah.
And as well for you. And I think not just only in praying for your future significant other, but I think this works perfectly in everything we do, especially in our time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree. I mean, let's say, like, you're doing something for God, like a project.
Right.
God will give you that perfect portion of what to work on, but sometimes we want to do a little more. We end up crashing. That's why I think, like, the best advice you gave me, before I started walking with Christ was, don't go too fast that you end up falling hard, and don't go too slow, which, you're way behind and you're not growing. So I think the same is true with God giving you that perfect portion. Whatever God puts in front of you, it's because he knows that is the perfect portion for you. I know that the scripture says God doesn't give you anything you can't handle.
Yeah.
And the reason why a lot of Christians are like, why is all these things happening to me, right? And they suffer for it, like, badly, is because they essentially ask God, maybe throughout their walk, that I want this double portion of this, but at the end they ended up paying the price hardcore.
Yeah.
So I think like that dream, bro. I mean, I didn't think of anything too much of it, but I was like, nah, let me share it because this dream is interesting. And then once you explained it to me, bro, it was like a lesson, bro, like within that table.
I mean, even I learned.
Yeah, and our friend too, which your cousin, also learned something too.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is an awesome lesson.
Yeah. And now that you mentioned that, I was thinking, interesting. We live in a time where we're subconsciously, or sometimes we feel like we're racing against time or something. But if I have to be realistic, time in a way doesn't exist. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't. This is where it exists, but it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because we're the ones who have a time.
Yeah.
We're looking at the time. So we're giving time a meaning. We're giving it.
Yeah.
Right? What's happening is that time is passing through us. We're the ones aging. So how can we be in a race against time? Time itself, us. Because if we were to remove all of humanity, this earth continues.
Yeah.
And there's trees that are like 500, 1,000 years old, and they're still standing. Right? So what I'm trying to allude is that because we feel like we're in race against time, we then start to do too many things to the extreme. And this, I'm talking to believers. All right. We do two things to the extreme where we're taking too much of this portion that we cannot handle. Right.
Yeah.
Or you don't want too much of the portion that needs to be taken, and you are, I don't know, you could say lazy, or just you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
For example, the master gave several talents to certain workers.
Yeah.
Some multiplied it, some multiplied a little bit, and the other one just grabbed it and hid it. He called him at the end a wicked.
Yeah.
What did you do with it?
Yeah.
You did nothing with it.
Absolutely.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what the illustration I'm trying to paint is that portion, this concept of portion can be applied in everything that you do.
Yeah.
Everything.
Right? Absolutely.
Even though in the dream I was alluding to your other half, or potential other half.
Yeah.
But it can also be applied to anything that you do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, for example, when it says you cannot serve God and mammon, right? Because you either serve God or the materialistic things or money. Why? Because what happens is the root of all evil is the love of money.
Absolutely.
It's not how to make money. No. It's the root of it. Like your love for it.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a portion way too much that you're taking. That now you are forgetting about who?
God.
Right.
Yes.
But
totally.
now you're at the other spectrum where now you are stealing because you don't have it.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because why? Because, well, then if you're stealing because you don't have it, just because you're lazy to meet at that middle part of the portion where you have to like know how to make money, how it works. Back in the day, the merchants, how they would trade, how they would sell to be okay. Even if you weren't like filthy rich or whatever, but you can make a decent life. And so what happens? Then that person starts stealing. So it's like God knows the right amount of abortion. And I think the best example that was able to illustrate it in Psalms was David.
Yes.
And we do have the verse, and I would like for you to read it.
Yes. All right, so this is found in Psalms 30. I'm going to read the CSB version. And it's found in verse 7. No, my bad. I said Psalms, right? I'm sorry. Proverbs 30 and verse 7. And I think up to 9. So it says, 2 things I ask of you. Don't deny them to me before I die. Keep falsehood and deceitful words far from me. Give me neither poverty nor wealth. Feed me with the food I need. Otherwise, I might have too much and deny you, saying, who is the Lord? Or I might have nothing and steal, profaning the name of my God.
Right. Do you see what I mean?
Amazing, yeah.
You see like he says, these 2 spectrums.
Yeah. Amazing.
But that middle, give me what I need. And who knows better than what you need?
God. Exactly.
But if you ask for more, he'll be like, all right. You will pay the price for that, not him.
Yeah.
Why would you hold him accountable?
Exactly.
If you're the one who asked for it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why God says, discern the perfect will of God.
Yeah. Discern what is good, acceptable, perfect.
Exactly.
In the will of God.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, dude. So you always have to be on the lookout.
So think about it. That's just, we're talking about significant other. We're talking about, money and how to live. Yeah. But in our modern time, man, we're being consumed. We're perfect consumers.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Like the materialistic things have like quadrupled since I was a little kid.
For example, now like now it's a thing. Now, like, okay, I give myself an hour to scroll.
Oh, really? That's the thing,
dude.
I mean, we do it subconsciously too.
No. This is people who are aware.
Oh, okay.
I'll give myself an hour to scroll.
Got you.
Because it seems relaxing.
Yeah.
Because the dopamine is being released, and you're just scrolling. You're seeing people put whatever. The hour's up. All right, that's enough. But there are some people who just scroll an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and they're scrolling and scrolling.
Yeah. And don't even recognize it. Yep. Gluttony.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, absolutely, bro. And dude, it's crazy because
that's just an example.
Yeah, it is an example.
I mean, I'm not okay. That's just like something normal, scrolling.
Yeah.
But then there's pornography.
Oh yeah,
it's out of control.
Yeah. You were telling me like when you were a kid, it was just magazines.
It was the access to it was so much harder than it is now. It's so much easier now. I mean, now there's a profession, quote unquote, and I say this sarcastically, in the website where you can, men or women can create a profile and sell their services and subscription based.
Yeah. So lust is becoming like.
So there is a scripture that in those days people will be lovers of pleasure more than of God.
Yeah.
It says that.
No,
I would have to find it.
We're seeing it. Yeah.
Right? So there is no proper portion of anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
I agree.
They're just out of control. It's out of whack.
Yeah. In every way.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when he shows you that dream, are we okay if we let God give us the proper, perfect portion?
It's tough, but God knows it all, like you said.
Right?
God knows it all. He knows your heart. And we also made an episode too where we talked about that what you wanted at the end could be something that you never wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we okay with that perfect portion?
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
when we receive that perfect portion, you're satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
But when you feel those, you want more, what are you going to do? Let me put it this way. Let's say in life, you something came to you. God gave it to you. Here it is. It's a nice portion. And you've been having it. And you've been satisfied. But then all of a sudden, you start reminiscing about the past, or it could be whatever. And you start to desire things more, and then start to have doubts, and maybe you don't know if this is for you, or it could be on anything, career, music, your business, and you're almost considering, God, I don't think this is enough anymore. Like I want more to verify, see if I will be satisfied.
Oh wow, yeah, dude, our heart is deceitful.
So it comes back to the thoughts. Yeah, you said, Christ give the thoughts, but that one is in reference to when you go against the government, all that. God will give you the words and how to defend and how to present the message of the kingdom of heaven. But and we can be in our thoughts. That's fine, but we must be able to discern. God gives. God said to Isaiah, right? I will take out this heart of stone and put a flesh one, and it will cause you to do my commandments. So there's a causal effect here, right?
Yeah.
Right. The brain now can discern much better of these generated thoughts versus the heart of stone.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're exempt from not wanting more.
Absolutely.
Or wanting less where you're left desiring. So then now you're left desiring. And when you're given that, you want more. And when you get there, you don't even want it anymore.
Yeah.
You want to spew it out.
Yeah.
So we always come back to the heart. God knows us. He knows the heart. He knows the right amount of portion. And so when those moments come of, I want more. And if I do want more, when I get there, will I be too full and then I don't want it? What do you do then? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so in the end, we come to a conclusion that are you okay with the perfect portion that God presents to you before you?